ya, come on, and then say ya. That in my business, you catching fever. Getting serious like empty river. Ain't no stopping by the river. And as we coming, we sweeping, we cutting, we moving all the way. Yeah. We coming, yeah. We coming. As we coming, we sweeping, we coming. And then when we meet obstacles, we coming. Yeah, you coming, yeah. We coming. When the year is been checking you again, guys, we come.
Good evening on a beautiful Tuesday evening, the 9th of May 2023. And this is the Bottom Line, the program that brings you information as you need it. And we do discuss the issues from the top to the bottom, giving our analysis and our views. They may not be right, they are not wrong either. Tonight, we have a very, very interesting topic to discuss, and we have a house full of brains, house full of ideas, and Mr. Kai Mark Farr sits comfortably from the Royal Kingdom of Sweden and is ready to discuss. And Paul the Lord Cholople, I will not talk much about him. We'll come back and I will talk to you about him, and he will tell you what he's been doing all the weekend. Is poised from London, to be specific, Croydon, and he will be here to give his contribution to the show. And my name is Linford Goy. I'm here in my little cold Norwegian country. And of course, together, we'll be bringing you tight ideas that will bind you to your seats. And so be with us, stay with us. We'll be coming back pretty soon, and we'll bring you a couple of announcements, but we'll come back right after this musical interlude. We're not going to be too long with the music today because we got a lot to discuss. So stay tuned and join us as you can.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. Y'all gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people who us, the people lie to us, the government betray us, so much. I said they lie. The people who us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not do. I said we tired with their lies, we tired with their promises that led us to a lot of damages. We tired with that speech they preach in D and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So why can't you lie? Why can't you steal? Why can't you allow the citizens to beat? You see, we just tell you that's why we voted you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us, so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the corrupt. I said no one to trust. My people, no one to hope on. Nobody. My hope that I have been broken. I'm telling you, brother. So where are the schools? Where are the roads? Where are the jobs that they say they could afford? But they're too selfish. The people People tired with their rhetoric. People tired, they tired. You see the reason why we ask why the government betray. They have enough for time, but yeah, then stay they delay. People suffer. No work for people crying for hunger. Look at. Your vision and your mission, your intention to the nation, they poor. You got nothing to show. Nothing. So, why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. They lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock them for us.
Well, they can lie, they can steal, they connive, and they did just everything you think about. And they're coming back again to you to ask you for vote. And like I said, I'm going to have a house full of brains, house full of knowledge, and tonight is just exceptional. And you see, the maritime men, they're shipping business. So you can sleep with a ship and oil in your house. You had a big container ship behind the man. Sarah's great is here. He got a Mac muted. And I hope you unmute yourself, Sarah, because I don't understand. Why you got it? They're shipping business all behind you. You own a radio, they ship behind you. You in your house, they ship behind you. But together we are in it.
How you guys doing, man?
Yeah, we are great. And Sarah would let us say welcome to you, Mac, brother Mac. Welcome. It's been a long time since you were here. And Paul, of course, is the engineer behind this whole thing. And together we'll be discussing issues. But we've got a very important announcement. I know a lot of you have been waiting, expecting that we're going to be on the radio in Liberia tonight. And all was set, everything is arranged, but final technical glitches got us where we are. So the sad news is that we will not be with you tonight, Tuesday tonight, but maybe Friday we'll be with you. Fast forward, we'll be with you on Red Power FM from Broadville. But tonight, it's a debut. We were supposed to come on tonight for the very first time on that station, but they had to do some technical little thing. And this is Liberia we're talking about, right? This is the country we're talking about. So we just want to appeal to those of you who are expecting us to be on the radio tonight. We cannot be because of technical things. We, as just the ordinary people here, there's nothing we can do about it. It is the engineers and technicians that will have to sort that out in Liberia. But as you can see, the house is full. We're ready to pound you on the radio. But again, it's technical fault. So, gentlemen, let me say welcome to each of you. And I don't know where to start from. Okay, let me start from bottom to top because according to the order of descending. Sarah King lastly. Sarah, what got you late? Tell me, what you been doing the whole weekend?
Man, is it working? I just pop in. I probably missed the time. You guys can hear me?
Yeah, but very low. So you gotta give some power. Okay, I think Sarah is trying to
go back and look at and check the microphone. I'll see what happens.
Okay, Sarah will be with us later. Mike, it's been a while. You've been out of here. Not into real detail, but tell us what been happening to you. What's been cooking from your side? Anything good? Anything bad? You don't need to go into detail.
I mean, all is good.
Great.
Hearing from my political leader all the time and posting and campaigning with our mother, Mount Teresa. I mean, I can complain about seeing her on the field. It brings a lot of energy to the team and to everyone else. It's inspiring to see her going to talk to the mothers. Yeah, the one feels the yeah.
Okay, that's great. And Paul, today is Tuesday. It was a big occasion on Saturday and Sunday. By the way, I was here watching the 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 coronation ball that night, and the music was fantastic. I didn't watch the whole activities because, yeah, I was not chance. So, but tell me, what did you do? How was it? And did you see Begube?
Good
Why is that?
evening. Good evening, guys, and good evening to our listener. It's good to be back here. Although, the bottom line should have been on air in Liberia because of technical issue. I've been working with the guys, so we will correct that by the end of the day. So next Tuesday will be flowing. Yes, the weekend was great.
Hmm,
It was my good friend King Charles,
King
his,
Charles.
his, his coronation, and the whole country. Some people, in every society, you have people that are against. Some people are against the monarch, and some people for. And for me, I'm a strong fan of the monarch because King Charles is my friend. Yeah, he was coronated, and his beautiful wife Camilla too. She was crowned as queen.
Hmm,
So, with God, this is the first time in many years to have the king and the queen coronated the same day. So, England, the UK, the Commonwealth were all excited of our new king. And being the Lord Chilope, he's my friend. But I didn't see we had a coronation, but I saw some photograph of him serving, and then we know that he was at the occasion. So, yes, but it was great. And the entire UK, they were on the booze. Although it rained, the English will love their drink. So we celebrated on Sunday, and yesterday was holiday. So today we're back to normal.
great. And so, folks, there you have it. Um, like I said, we're going to have a very wonderful show tonight, and I think we're going to start the ball rolling. There's one big topic that we'll be discussing tonight, and that is with the problem with the Liberty Party in Liberia. That's the LP. We all know this is not anything new, or this is not news that we're going to break up. It's something that's been happening for a while. The United or the Liberty Party has been disunited for a while now, meaning that there was a faction within the party. They broke up uh, for a certain disagreement, and as you know, before their breakup, they were in the whole party was in the CPP as a unit, but when they broke up, there was division. One group left with Senator Yomli Kanga Lawrence, who is supposed to be or was at that time the political leader of the party, and then another group of partisans remained in the CPP along with the chairman of the party, Mr. Musa Beliti. Both people in the party both who that broke apart, they follow their leaders respectively. And this has been going on. They've been up and down in court. Somebody will not be satisfied at a decision taken by the lower court, and they'll go to Supreme Court, then they'll send them back to NEC, they'll come back again and go. It's been like no talk of war. But then this is continuing, and so many things have been happening. But now it seems as though the need for a united Liberty Party, that is the group that went with John Lee Kanga, Senator Kanga, and the group that went with Chairman Belite, if there's a possibility of coming back. So there has been a lot of discussions around that. So the question here that we're going to be discussing today is one big question. That is, does that give the CPP a greater chance come 2023 election or come October? Because the thing is, United Party, by legal right, by legal document, is a member of the CPP. Despite there was a group that left because of some misunderstanding, they left. But if they unite, if they reunite and become one again, knowing fully well that the United Party by document they are member of the CPP, will that give the CPP any
Liberty
greater
Party,
advantage?
Liberty Party.
Or the Liberty Party, I'm sorry, there are too many parties in this Liberia. Yeah, man. Small country, you're looking for food to eat, then you get millions of party. So we'll just be mixing it up. So, but we're talking about a united Liberty Party. If they all come together, Chairman Musa Belete group come, Senator Kanga Lawrence group comes together and they say, okay, we are ready. Do you think it's going to give any greater chance to the CPP in the 2023 October election? Gentlemen, any of you can take a go. This is the question we are faced with.
It's a beautiful question, though. And that is, oh, can I say maybe $1 million question? Because what I'm seeing, people with ego in that party want to flex their muscle. So, but it will be a good thing to have a united Liberty Party. And remember, since 2017 election, the Liberty Party, I think, is became third. So I would consider that the third largest party after the ruling establishment, the Unity Party, then come Liberty Party. Now you got ANC 2017, fast forward, the fast growing political party in the country. So would those two parties coming together? I mean, if Liberty Party is united, that would be with ANC, the CPP, it will be a force to reckon with. So that I see, I think it will be a good thing for them to unite their party. Is they will become stronger together than being divided. But I think it's about time. They have gone to court over and over and over. The result keep going one-sided. So if they put their ego aside and unite their party, it will be a good thing. That's how I see it.
Yeah, Mike, you want to
Let's
give your view on it?
let's for me is I mean this Liberty Party internal fight is something that should have been dealt with a long time ago. If, for example, they had a good crisis management team, because what does Musa Belete want? What does Yombli Kanga want? What does the party stand for? So the Liberty Party from the beginning, Yombli was not contending for the standard bearership of the CCP, but it placed them in a position of having a golden egg. So the golden egg meaning that they should have hold on until go to the referendum, not referendum, but how they call it, the convention, and whosoever that come out victorious, they would need the Liberty Party to endorse them. So placing Liberty Party now to be having a party that had the golden egg, because one way or the other, if Mr. Cummings was to come out, emerge as the chairperson of the CCP or the candidate from the CCP, then he will have to lobby the Liberty Party. So the same way with Women Boycott. But their internal rivalry with the power struggle between Yombli Kanga and Musa Belete is what caused them to throw the golden egg on the floor, and the egg kind of crack, but it didn't, get destroyed. Then if you, like the question you asked, if they stay in a good position, I believe looking at the political landscape in Liberia, Liberian politics is not about the issue, you understand? It has brought down to the tribal sentiment, because it's one of the reasons that you got the Unity Party into Nima County because of vote. But it's not actually about the issue. So I still believe that the Liberty Party still plays, most especially Senator Yombly, who served almost, 10 years as a lawmaker. So they're still in a good position. And I'll stop here for now and let Brother Cyrus come in.
Yeah, Sarah, take a shot at it.
Yeah, are you guys doing? Can you hear me better now?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're having echo to your side, so you just need
I
to.
I noticed a echo. I'm several seconds behind my own voice.
Yeah, you need to. If you have any monitor there, you need to lower it. Yeah, you need to. If you have any monitor there, you need to lower it. If you have anything you're listening to, you can lower it. But while Sarah is
I
sorting
think
out
that's
things,
what.
yeah, while Sarah is trying to sort out things,
Is it better?
yeah,
Yeah.
if you get, you are better. It's just that we had an echo. So if you stay hearing echo, then you need to work on it. But I think it's gone.
You good?
You are good
So
now.
you guys can hear me now, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, but hey, always good to be on the program, the platform with you guys, and the question, if I understood the question well, maybe from the writer that Paul also sent me, you are asking if the CPP uh, will be stronger with the United Liberty Party. Is that a question?
Exactly so.
Okay, so we can look at it from the only evidence we have to refer to right now is the elections, the numbers from 2017.
Okay.
I share with Paul a graph of the numbers from 2017. So
Mhm.
sometimes it's just good to talk, but the numbers can say more than just people's opinion, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So the table you're looking at is a tabulation of the votes from 2017 based on the following, right? It's showing it doesn't have Josh Weir on the table. I know it's a little small, but the first bar there represent the Unity Party, Joe Burkhardt. And there's so many bars because the analysis is done for each of the 15 counties. So you will see every 4 bar is one county. So the first is Bomi, second is Bong, third is Bapulu, fourth is Grand Bassa, and on, and the last is Sino. If you look at the one with a very high bias over there is Muscarado County.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The first bar there is based on the number of votes cast for the Unity Party, uh, Joe Burkhardt. The second one, orange looking, is the number of votes cast for the Liberty Party. The third is the number of votes cast for the ANC, Alexander Cummings. The fourth, which is yellow like, in the first bombing, you don't see it much because the number of votes cast for Prince Johnson's party.
Mhm.
The last bar, which is light blue, is the number of votes that were not cast at all. And this is important because people don't talk about it a lot. But in the 2017 election, 25% of the people who registered never voted at all, never cast a vote. In a runoff that came in December of the same year, 50% of the people who registered never voted. So about 990,000 people never voted. So when we're talking about the strength of a party using 2017 data, it's good for us to see the whole picture. Okay. So let's use one county for an example. Let's go to Muscarado County. If you look at Muscarado County, it's a county with a very high bias. So in Muscarado County, a little over 150,000 persons voted for Joe Burkhardt. See that high bias?
Mhm.
The next high buy is 142,000 people who never voted at all, who were registered to vote. So that's that. The people who never voted at all, they the one in contest with Joe Parker. The next person who was the highest in Moserado County is the great bar there is Alexander Cummings. So what we don't hear much is that in Moserado County in 2017, George Weah came first, Barker came second, Alexander Cummings came third. So if you look at the orange bar there is the Liberty Party's vote, or the Brumskins vote. So to answer your question, look at every county and add the Brumskin vote to the Cummings vote. So in Moserado County already, if you add the Brumskin vote to the Cummings vote, you almost reached the vice president's vote. So you have another 144,000 people who never voted at all. So if you really canvass among them and you can make the case, you probably will be able to win Moserado County.
But I think the question somebody may be asking is, how do we know?
So let's use the same analogy, county by county.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Linfo, ask your question. I dropped the chat, or Paul. Let's discuss.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the question someone may want to ask is, how do we know those 144,000 that didn't vote? How do we recognize them among the people? Because
Linford,
yeah.
I just want to chip in this, like what Brother Cyrus just talked about, right?
Okay.
One of the key group of people in this coming election are the silent voters. The silent voters, they are very, very dangerous in this coming election and important. They're not saying much, they're not expressing any sentiment, but they are the one going to call the shot when it comes to this election. Not all those noisemakers that we find on the street that, going by sentiment and not the issue. But those silent voters, they talk about the issue, they are concerned about the issue. And if you talk to some of them, which I believe most of you have done, they're not saying much. Yeah. So 2017, ANC of 2017 is not the ANC of 2023. And before the election, it's not going to be the same ANC. As the thing, goes, the race is not to the swift, but he that doeth to the end. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, probably what you want to chip in, but to get out of what Max said, I think those silent
Linfo,
voters
ask your question.
are merely civil servants. Yeah, but Sarah, the question I wanted to ask is, how do we identify those 144,000 people that didn't vote at that time that we believe could make a difference this time? That you are supposing that people or the parties could canvass among. How do they recognize them? How?
Okay,
Sarah,
so maybe we can ask. I'll add more to those questions so we can make deductions, right?
Yeah.
540,000 people didn't vote in the first round, but they did register. They did register to vote. Of that number, 50,000 came from Nema. We should be asking ourselves, why would somebody register to vote and they don't turn out to vote?
And I can see this one of the
More than likely, they were not inspired by the candidates.
Exactly. That could be another factor. And then two, looking at Ellen putting up this man that got a country at heart, George Weah. would be one of the reasons too that people say, okay, let us give this guy a chance. But I mean, for some of us that already knew the fish head was rotten, it's just a matter of time for the head to start smelling before you know that. I mean, people start to tell the odor in a hall or in a house that okay, something's smelling here. So I think it came to the point that people wanted, I mean, to give this guy a try. But to a lot of people that know the fellow that he wasn't up for the task. But so further the man, I mean, records from as a lawmaker. Even you go to some tapes of Prince Johnson, I could remember Prince Johnson were on one of the radio stations and saying that every time they go to, I think, Abuja, the fellow will take off and doesn't continue his journey. So that speaks volume right there. So I think people got discouraged. Like I mean, why is it that 500,000 or 50,000 people registered to vote? By the end of the day, they were disappointed. Maybe out of the two apples, there wasn't a good one to choose from.
And that could happen again. Because when people are not getting voter education, this is what happened because people are not informed, and there's a lot of propagandists on the ground that confuse people. So people tend to shy away, say, you know what it is. I will sit home and let the bad guys do what they want to do. It's going to happen again. I was in Morovia recent time, and I met people that were saying, I'm not even bothering to vote. So we have to talk to them to convince them how their vote is very important. So it wouldn't surprise me that 50, 60,000 people may not even turn out again. And there was just Monserrado County that Sarah referring to. The entire country, similar thing happened. So 5 million people, over 3 million plus, they now vote in that election. That's a lot.
Yeah,
Yep,
but then
yep.
like some of them I've spoken to a lot of Liberian, I mean, tons of Liberian that were discouraged in 2022. A lot of them are convinced, even some good old friend of mine, they are part of the fish uh, team Cummins. And I'm like, if you don't go to vote and looking at your current situation now, which one you think going to change the situation for you? It's better that you get out there to vote. And those of you people that feel that your vote is not important, it's better that you guys get out there to vote. Because if you don't, you are just like those that voted the incompetent. You know different. So, but
Mhm.
you getting out there to vote, you're gonna make the difference. So that's the message. I mean, we have to continue sending out there.
Okay, let me welcome a couple of people. Francis Mensah, you're welcome. Joseph Conto, Miata Dakina, and Sister Chadela Chiruple, and the rest of you whose names I cannot see now or want to say welcome. Please help us to share the show and invite your friends. But, gentlemen, yeah, the middle dollar question is whether if the Liberty Party unites, if they will give any extra boost to the strength of the CPP. And Cyrus did put out that graph, and the graph is what we are discussing right now. Paul put out the graph, and that was the graph we were discussing. But if you carefully look at the graph, you know that the yeah, thank you, Paul. You will see that everywhere the United Party was leading, in every country that the United Party was leading, the ANC was, at that time, it was the ANC alone, just as the ANC, not a CPP, just the ANC. The ANC was in the game as well. In every country that the United Party led, the ANC was either in the third place, and in some places, the ANC took the second place in some countries. But with this Liberty Party session in a or faction in the CPP now, and then we're talking about unity, total unity. If they all come together, do you think it's going to make any big difference? And like Mark rightly also said, that the 2017 ANC is not the 2017 CPP, because this time it's ANC and CPP. So are we looking at a boost here? And I think that this graph can help us to really understand this question, because if you look at the graph, you see that the ANC at that time, as just a single party, not in a collaboration, was not flat on its belly in all of the countries. They were competing as well. But then the other part of the question that I would like to ask is, uh, do we see any possibility of the Unity Party coming back on together as one unit? Because the reason I'm asking the question is,
The
Senator
Liberty
Kanga,
Party.
Senator Kanga was in another camp for which she sacrificed to actually leave the CPP and follow that camp. But as it appears, she's no more with that camp. She's been dashed, and it seems that she's human being. You can't say you can't go somewhere where people don't like you. So it seems that she may want to reunite her party and then have control. So do we see any possibility?
Uh, I I would say this, Brother Linford,
Mm,
and to my fellow panelists. You see, Liberian politics, as I said in my first statement, that it is not 90% or 60% about the issue, but rather it's about this ethnicity, my countryman on the ballot. So I'm going to vote for my countryman, whether he up for the tax or not. So if you, for example, that is why the Unity Party, first of all, this number we're talking about, what happened, I think, last year or the year before, 4 seats were up for grab, right? Right in
mm,
Lofa County. And right in Lofa County, Joseph Barker candidate that he put up in Lofa County didn't win any of those seats. So let us forget about the number something. But again, if we take into consideration why is it that Jeremiah Kuhn was chosen from Nima County is because of the 400 some thousand people that live in Nima. But the 400 some thousand also, they are not just Mano and Gio. You have the Mandingo belt that, almost 30% of the population in our county. And you got Nima also share border with Grand Bassa County where you have maybe like 5% Bazolan. And you have the Terramasian crown that when they go to Grand Jida, they are crown. When they come to Nima, either they are Man or Gio, right? But then let us come to the Liberty Party group, the Liberty Party side. You got the Bassa belt, which comes from the river side to the Grand Bassa County, the Magibi County, and the surrounding of Moserado County. So that also is another huge, if the Liberty Party can put their pieces together, and we, for example, I'll say this. You can't just choose somebody who has not been active in Liberian politics to go on your ticket. You will be causing damage to your own ticket. So it has to be somebody who's been, active with Liberian politics for the past 5 years. You understand? So Yombly, I still put her in a favorable position if we want to, if the ANC want to check balance what the Unity Party did by going after Jeremiah Kuhn, then ANC also need to look at that Bassa belt and chip and bring up somebody from that Bassa belt because that's a long belt you're talking about.
So let me go back to the graph. And Sarah said something that 2017. After the election, most they talk about in Liberia was that Bronsky and Cummings unity that could make a difference in Liberia. And with the Liberty Party still half of it still in the CPP, when that party unite, it will be a good force for any group to compete with, because look at it, the ANC then were winning seat all over the place. And if you look at Maryland, ANC came second behind Josh Weir. Nima County, look at the position ANC took in Nima County. And after the election, ANC was the fast growing political party. So that number they had then, it have gone up. So combined with Liberty Party that have been in a cycle of Liberian politics for long, people, and now some of those people that didn't vote, I can tell you, they came from those parties as well. So it will be a good thing to have them coming together. United CPP will be talking different thing after October 10. Sarah?
So let me chime in there, or chill pray. I think there's something I was saying that I didn't get to finish.
Okay.
I was trying to be a little more analytical, maybe, or taking too long, right? So I hear a car is saying, me, a Mark is saying Nima County, Nima County. I come from Nima County, and I'm proud that we can talk about the influence that Nima has in the vote. But let's look at the numbers. If Nima had a number to make somebody president of Liberia, Prince Johnson would be president, right? The total votes cast in Nima County in 2017 was about 218,000 votes. Prince Johnson got 107,000 of that vote, about half of that vote. If you look on every other county, Prince Johnson had numbers only in Grand Jita County after that. So Cummings beat Prince Johnson in every county other than Nima and Grand Jita. Same for Bromskin, more or less, and then Bromskin beat Boakai in Grand Bassa and Riverses. So if you were to unite the Liberty Party vote, the Bassa people, and Mark made an analogy that the Bassa vote is not only county driven, you can get Bassa votes from Magibi, from Maserado, from Bong, from Riverses, from Nima. So if you were to the Bassa people vote more as a black than the Nima people vote, because if you look at the numbers out of 218,
That's right.
only 50% or right above voted for Prince Johnson. So half of the people voted for somebody else. If you look at the Bassa vote, most of the Bassa vote voted for Liberty Party. Most of the Riverside vote voted for Liberty Party. So by the analogy I'm making, if you were to get a united Liberty Party into the CPP, the difference in the votes that they will put together may easily offset a Nima vote. And mind you, this is not Prince Johnson on the ticket. This is Jeremiah Kuhn, who you have brought on the ticket, who, if you look at the county election where he ran against Gongloware and Ta, if you have put Ta vote and Edith Gongloware vote together, it was higher than Jeremiah Kuhn vote. So this is to say how important it is if you can unite the Liberty Party into the CPP going towards this election, because you will create a real vote block and you can build upon looking for votes now from the other various sector. If I'm saying that just to answer the question you raised on how important it is or what impact we will have if you were to get a single Liberty Party where in fact Yomli Kanga, who is remember a lady, a female, is running as a running mate to Cummings because apart from the tribal component, then you also be attracting people who are interested in getting a woman participation at the top level of government.
I think uh, that question would not
And
have been.
you got a vote area to play in. If you go back again, as I said, in the first round of election, 500,000 people, 541,000 people never voted. In the runoff election in December, half of the population never voted.
Yeah.
And
So
Linford,
it's still free for all.
okay, after Cyrus. And just to add on, when it comes to the women voters that Cyrus talked about, right? My brother
Mhm.
Cyrus talked about, and this thing going to be a phenomenon in Liberia almost every election that comes. So our women need to step up when it comes to leadership. What role they play, how important they have become from the uh, former President Madam Ellen and to Joy Howard Taylor. So you're going to find a lot of women stepping up their games when it comes to, I mean, the academic sector, when it comes to leadership ability. We're going to, is this not going to be the last time or the first time, and it's going to be a continual process. So the women vote, and you have Mount Teresa at the same time coming up on the fee every time she go to campaign. So there's something going to be a long time, how they call it, ball game in our Liberian politics when it comes to the women vote.
Hmm.
Yeah. Let me chime in what Mark just said. The problem in every nation, the people who bear the burden of that problem is they are women. Liberia is no exception to that. The men tend to run away drinking juice, come home, sleep. They don't know how the children been felt for that day because the hard time they just can't bear it. So the women, when they decide to do something, they do it with their heart. And if you find out people calling all of the radio stations, talking, women don't talk. And Mark talked about silent voter. Those are the key people in this election. And guess what? The candidates that are running, there's somebody that women attracted to most. Mr. Cummings, just what? When he hits somewhere, there are more women following him than men. There's something women can see, men don't see it. And those are the people that will determine who become if people follow policy. So I just want to, I know Sarah's with my chime in with something and you lean for.
Hmm. I'm kind of laid back tonight because,
But
you
but
know,
but,
uh,
but, but Paul, people that have not interacted with Mr. Cummings, be it on a telephone call or in person, right? He's somebody likable once you get to hear his voice, once you get to meet him one on one. All the trash people being saying about him, you're gonna have a change of heart once you interact with Mr. Cummings. So this is something that you can't take away from Mr. Cummings.
okay, but there is one thing though it's not related totally related to the unity of CPP and Liberty Party as we're discussing. But in 2017, there was this national anthem that was singing, "Oh, nobody knows coming, nobody knows coming." But all of a sudden, fast forward today, even opposition Unity Party has begun attacking Mr. Comey everywhere on the internet now. I mean, for the past weeks, since they picked their vice president, okay, and Mr. Comey has not done so, he has been a topic, and they are like, they're so worried, and I don't understand. So, has anything changed? Here, are they looking at something? Is it because when they chose our vice president, it appears that it backfired. I mean, for me, I would describe it as a backfire. So they're like, okay, we wait, we'll rush Mr. Comey to take his, they want to play this game called uh, moral equivalence, right? Say I did bad, I'm looking for somebody to be like me too. So they've been like, choose a vice president, and this is no competition to do that. So has anything changed? Why are they worried about a man that nobody knows?
Linford, you see, if somebody keep talking about you,
Mm,
you are very important.
Everything we're doing, therefore,
yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Paul. I mean, or go ahead, and Cyrus.
everything we're doing is based on assumptions. I I I realized that my audio is coming in a few seconds late, so pardon me for that.
Yeah.
But this is why I
So,
want to say,
so
Linford,
when
you
you
raised
when
the issue
yeah,
about
yes,
in
Sarah, saying you are coming in late, saying you are coming in
2017.
late.
People say they read the way they even phrased it was that, oh, this man is a good man, but he came late, right? That's why everybody would say, even though they are not voted yet, they say he is a good man, he came late, and we took time to figure out what does this mean, right? And the conclusion that we've come to is that people in Liberia vote not because of ideas.
Hmm.
People vote based on relationships. I tried to make that case to Mr. Cummings in after the elections, before the elections, and then after the election, I went back to him because he didn't get it right. He's saying, "Look, people should understand that their conditions are not right. I have the requisite experience and training, and you can easily find it, and I can change the country." So in the months going to the election, I tried to redefine that to him. There was a kid living with me while we were in Monrovia called Emmanuel. So I called Emmanuel in front of Mr. Cummings. I said, my man, you going to be voting this year? He said, yeah. Or same brother. I said, who you voting for? He said, but how you ask me that kind of question? Anybody you voting for that president I will vote for. So the begin left. Mr. Cummings look at me and said, oh, but how he would say that? He doesn't have a mind of his own. I said, no, you don't get it. What he really saying is that because it is me who is his point of influence, the president who he depends on. A thing all right for me, thing all right for him.
Exactly.
So say one, so say all.
99% of Liberian people, that's how they vote. They vote
That's right.
on based on influence. They don't vote on ideas. So when they were saying that, oh, this man, he's a good man, all the things you're saying are good, but he came late, they were just saying that he does not fit in that spheres of influence. So how do you canvas that kind of person? The way you do that is not to go stand on the tower in town to explain all your great ideas. The way you do that is to win the people who have influence in the community. Because once you win the people who have influence, the people who will vote because of those people, they will follow you because
Mhm.
they're the main man.
Yeah.
That's how it has worked in Liberia, and that has not really changed, right?
Hmm.
Work Cummings has been in Liberia for in canvassing, participating in organizations. He got his foundation doing a whole lot of valuable work. He built a whole complex, a whole street block, employed uh, tens of people there. People are feeling him. He's on the radio. He's talking about the issues. So I think the scenario has changed a little bit because people now realizing that, oh, at least we knowing the man now that man, they can talk about him in a way that is becoming more personal. So even though we are using 2017 to make analogy, we may be missing in on the fact that Cummings is not the outsider that he was perceived to be in 2017
That's right.
anymore. And a
Hmm.
lot of significant work has been going on in this ANC CPP group all around the country. So the Liberian people, they don't make decisions for their leaders based on ethics. Because I mean the society is such that we've seen that the system of justice doesn't work. If you set a standard that oh we'll look for only the good people who clean, that only you alone will be in that bucket. So they vote by relationships. So the more people you bring into your spheres, who already have contacts, the better for you. That is why the unification of the LP and bringing in Yombly, DeLong, all those people back into the fold, if they can achieve that, it's a major game changer. If you add all the other work they've been doing, I mean, you can't beat it. My question I would like to ask you, Linford, who got your ears on the ground, is that to what extent have they achieved any form of getting together since the vice president named Alexander Kuhn?
Uh, um, well,
I mean, Jeremiah Kuhn, I mean.
yeah, I think there has been negotiations from every R or every side of the R, um, negotiation from the Unity Party to Madam Senator Nyomli Kanga for the fact that they feel that she's disappointed having a line with them for years, and then all of a sudden she was not picked. They will automatically feel that they've done something bad to her. So they've been negotiating, trying to see if they could pacify her or consider also what she brings to the table from Passa. So they've been trying to promise her some from what we hear because we got folks on the ground, and they've been making negotiation. But again, the question is how much could they do at this dire minute when somebody who stood with you for all those time could just be sidelined like that?
Hmm.
Then I think from the CPP side, um, the folks in the CPP, the leadership, may have been making some negotiations as well, saying, "No, listen, you are with us. We did not drive you. We did not suspend you. We did not expel you, but you left. And where you went, you did not find good sanctuary. So come back. You know, play the role of the prodigal child. We still have a place for you." So I'm sure those discussions are going on as well. And 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 behind the scene, inside the Liberty
Linford,
Party
Yombly was
itself.
expelled. Yombly and Delon was expelled. You can't say they did not drive you.
No, 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 no. I'm not talking about within the Liberty Party. I'm talking about from the CPP context. That's what I said. The CP, the folks within the CPP may be talking to Senator Kanga and say, "No, listen, we did not expel you. We did not put you out. You left. It's like you got a child in the home and he leaves. Probably he thought you got a good company out there, and he left the house to go join the company, and then he can't even find a place to be. They dropped him, so he will come back. But when he comes back, automatically you will not just come in the house, you'll be walking around the house, hoping to see that somebody will see you and say, "Oh, you here? Come here." So I think that kind of negotiation may have been taking place in recent time. And like I said, inside the Liberty Party itself, since Senator Kanga was expelled, I think there is also another round of negotiation between they and Billy. So it's a whole round of discussions that will be going on. But again, we do not have details. We cannot, definitely say that this is happening, but we know that these things are happening. And from all indications, there's a need for the Liberty Party to unite. Okay, because tell me, what will Senator Lawrence be doing? Just going from court to court all the time? No, your party, the interest of your party is paramount. Okay, so you got to come back. And when you come back, then now you have the leadership that you want. But you can't be outside and want to have the leadership. So I think they are negotiating, except that, any of the panels here, or the panelists here rather, on this panel, has heard anything other than I know. But I think those are some of the things that we've been hearing on the ground, that there are negotiations from all sides. Trust me.
Hmm.
So,
I think it'll be a good thing that
what I can
they
say is that the whole issue with this Liberty Party between Yomli Kanga and Musa Belete is being poorly managed from the beginning. Because if they had a good crisis management team in their organization or their institution, I don't think things would have gotten out of hand as to where it got them today. So that is what I can say about the Liberty Party, and they are not even. It's not. I'm not saying this to support Musa Belete, but I think Musa also has been somebody who's been willing to compromise, telling Yomli, yeah, you got this thing, you got this thing, you got this thing. Do not abuse it, do not abuse it. But power can sometimes expose people. The more power a man gets, the more he exposes himself to the public. So that is what happened to the Liberty Party. And then two, when we talk about what now looking at in the Liberian political, landscape now, who are you going to choose now that that
Hello.
we've been talking about over the past 2 years apart from Yombli Kanga? You go after Tewon Gonglo, that's the same Nima County Jeremiah Kun is from. Who else? You go after Lima Bowie. Lima Bowie has not been active in Liberian politics. She's been on her foundation here and there. So if you would choose a vice presidential candidate apart from Nyombli, then it has to be somebody who's been very, very active in Liberian politics. So the Unity Party also did the ANC a favor by rushing to choose their running mate. They thought Cummings would have made that move. But Mr. Cummings waited and they make the wrong move on the chessboard. And now it is Mr. Cummings' time now to use his king or the queen or the pawn or whatsoever. I'm not good at chess. But they draft boys before Mr. Cummings now. And I can assure you this that Mr. Cummings' running mate going to be like the hammer blow. Yeah. That they're going to land with heavy weight. So that I can assure you, putting heads together, they don't want to come up with a name that's going to be mistake on a ticket and get people say, oh, but then Joseph Barker made right choice than Mr. Cummings. So, but Yombli State, yeah, is the favorite for my own opinion.
Linford, I just want to pick you guys, take you back to what Sarah said about the
Suppose Yombli
influence.
does not accept to run with Mr. Cummings.
Yeah, that's a very good question, Brother Cyrus. If she doesn't accept to run with Mr. Cummings, few other names. I don't want to believe. That she's the only person that the ANC is contemplating on to choose as. But I think the what if question also is on the table. That what if she doesn't want to be a vice president? Maybe a lot of us speculating she want to be a vice president. What if she doesn't want to? So what the next move for ANC? That's a fair question that nobody here we only speculate, as you said, we're only just going to be speculating. But it should be somebody that's going to come with something very important to the table.
Okay. Just before Paul take us by like he wanted to do, let me give my input on that question from Sarah. What if Madam Kanga Lawrence, Senator, refuses to come as running mate to Mr. Cummings, which is unlikely? Let me tell you one thing. In life, there is one thing called opportunity. It comes once at a time. To every individual, an opportunity is like an old man with bald head with one string of hair. And every
Like
morning he
mine.
wake up, yeah, like yours.
Yeah.
And then old man will grease that string of hair very well. Then he say, I'm going to visit Paul today. You can't sit down with Paul, be talking all the sweet thing, and Paul too just sit there enjoying. But instead of Paul grabbing that one string of hair, tie it around his hair, and hold it tight, like the old man will not escape, then this old man is the opportunity now. If Paul just taking for granted and then he leaves, then Paul say, oh, but if over here you're talking all the good things, I missed the opportunity. That's why he always hear people say, if I had known, I had the opportunity, but I let you go. So if Madam Senator Nobly Kanga could leave the CPP and even have problem within the Liberty Party, just to become first president to I mean, with the hope that she would become first president to Joe Walker. And along the way, they didn't see her value. They play her down. And if her party, part of it is staying in the CPP, and Mr. Cummings goes to her and say, look, listen to me. The same thing, it's like you're looking for something up, but when you look down, it laying right under you, you think you're lifting the one that down. The same thing, it will laying right under your feet, but you lift it and go look for the other one that up. So I think Madam Kanga will not refuse, because let me tell you, that's the opportunity I'm talking about. Is the opportunity that comes to you, and and nobody will want to turn down such opportunities. So I don't think Madam Kanga Lawrence would have risked all her political career all these years only to be offered on silver platter the first presidency, and she said no.
Hmm.
So Sarah, that's my input on your concern.
Hmm.
Uh, uh, uh,
I guess before her name came into the picture,
Mm.
I've
But the
listened to you.
reality is that they, I mean, from what we hear coming out of
No, Sarah
Monrovia is
has a
that
delay.
that
That's why.
that there are people that there are people with in the Yumbly camp who are insisting that they should cut a deal with the Unity Party anyway. So it's not really a done deal yet, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, but that's why we say
any smart
negotiations are going on.
team or the on the CPP side should actually be contemplating what the next option, so that a full reliance on getting Yombly and not getting it may not upset the entire party. So I don't know what's going on. It will really be a good thing if Yombly, because it works in Yombly's interests and the Liberty Party's interests. It gives an opportunity for them to hash their differences. Yombly comes
Mhm.
back into the party. Uh, I hope as a party political leader, and then a vice presidential running mate. So, assuming worst case scenario, Cummings doesn't win the election, she doesn't have anything to lose. She has everything to gain because she still
A
has her
senator.
party. She's an
Mhm.
official there. She's still a senator. Her seat is not in contest. But I know in Liberia, people are petty because of the back and forth they've gone through. The Supreme Court has made a decision, and the decision has weighed in favor of Musa. That Musa is the chair of the party based on the laws that are available to the Elections Commission. So some people would just probably want to fight at all costs, even if there will be no outcome. But I would hope that they can. And what does that apply to the big picture of electability? So we're saying that the present government is not doing great, so we need to get him out. So the vice president Boakai has named his running mate. Some of us has been concerned about his ability to govern for many reasons, which I will just not state here. But he named a vice presidential running mate. It turned out the vice presidential running mate was desired by many people because they were hoping he would bring Nima vote. So if now we get a Liberty Party, so what would be the scenario going to the elections relative to getting Weir out? Because in reality, we got two major players now who are going to be dividing similar pool of votes. Does it not increase the likelihood of Josh Weir getting a second term?
Yeah, but no. I will look at it for different side. For the fact that I mean we got a fixed number of voters. Okay, so there is no way that I would believe that George Weah's votes would be overwhelming to surpass those of two strong candidates as well. Remember, the United Party came second in the past election. Okay, even though it was in the second round, and
How
then
do you make that? How do you come to that conclusion? Everything we know from 2017
mm,
suggests to us that George Weah had more votes than each of the two candidates.
yeah, and what we know now is that George Weah has performed dismally, and most of the people from the camp have defected. So, the election is based on numbers, right? But these numbers are not stagnant. The numbers are completely mobile. They can fluctuate. So there is no stability here when it comes to the number. Yeah, you can accumulate certain numbers.
Therefore, who are the people you know? Who are the people you know who have defected?
Oh, listen, we no the same
I
voters, the
know
same
few
people,
persons.
yeah, the same people who are dancing Muya, 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 that I think people can be calling. In Liberia, they call on the radio, they say, oh, the man, we voted for him, but the way he going, we don't like it, we are going. It says people, and remember, you just said it rightly, that in Liberia, people depend on people, okay? I got a lot of family members in Liberia, brothers and sisters with our siblings. By the time I say, and I've been opinion leader among my family, if I say your vote for the people, they'll do it. You see it? So most of the people that whether it was one person who voiced it out, one person will take at least 2 or 3 people from we are. So we are cannot post of any number. So if this is the case, if we want to base our analysis on the past numbers, then let's just say that Joshua is going to win. No election because he won the past election, right? But what I know is that in election, no numbers are stable. They will fluctuate according to the given condition at the time.
But Linford,
Mm.
it's a very interesting topic here, and people should pay key attention to this. And I'm going to go back to what Sarah said. Mr. Cummings had an interview in Nigeria with the one of the strong Nigeria television over there. And the question he said, if election were held today, if people in the diaspora allowed to vote, I will be president. Remember that word. That who sit in the diaspora, at least 1 or 2% can be told do this and will follow. If he have that strong base and everybody is talking to people over there, that's a game changer. We may not look at it that way. Now, I'll take you to Yomni. Yomni was promised, and this is something that my friend told me in confidence. I won't call the name. The guy live in Switzerland, live for he knows this person.
Yeah.
Strong Unity Party supporter. He went home. He went to visit Uncle Joe. They were on their way to Buchanan, and Uncle Joe confided in him that yes, I carry Yomni as my running mate. He just came from Liberia, disappointed on the decision that was given to him. It turned out to be someone else. He's very unhappy. He was on his way back from Liberia to Switzerland. He called me saying, no, I don't know. The papi made a wrong mistake. He did promise that woman. So people, she knew that she was promised. And now that opportunity left. She became the new queen in the town. Everybody now fancy this woman that was done. And then somebody comes and say, oh, I don't mind marrying you. That is something that she should be proud of. The thing that you are going for, all along, somebody there waiting to give it to you. So why don't you take this opportunity? That's how I would see it. But
I know. Before, bro,
equally
I
so,
think Mike wants to come in,
yeah,
or
equally
Sarah will come.
so.
But Sarah, let me
Wait,
tell
let
you
me
one thing.
finish
To
that,
know,
Linford. Let me learn.
okay,
Equally so, they have people in Liberia
mm,
that does not want that Liberty Party and the ANC become CPP to be together because they know the outcome. So they will fight it. So it's not one way thing. And remember the people she carried alongside to vote Omer Baka, not all of them will come back.
mm-hmm.
Some will remain. So this is an interesting thing. This is what I wanted. I will refuse. Then Linford came and gave me the opportunity. Let me marry Linford one time and get what I want. But I hope they see logic.
But yeah, but Sarah, let me again come to you, Sarah. You know, if we talk about a normal fluctuation, there were after 2017 election, right? There were several parties that had normal swelling. Let's look at a unity party, for example. I will still go back to a unity party. They came second in the elections. Then a lot of strong people joined them. Look at the likes of Costa, and you. It's good that you gave that example about you and your picking. Okay, Costa had a COP. When Costa said he was going to support Joe Walker to become president, all the COP members went behind him. Okay, so that number swell right there. And when this thing happened recently, I was in the COP, right? And if you go to COP channel now, the discussion are there. That number, that crowd that left with Costa to go to Walker, that number has shrunk tremendously. And in fact, to the point where they and United Party people are forcing. If you go there, in fact, United Party South, Costa were not even importing, sir. When they were pressing the same Costa, then the CEO people say, oh, later our men were on your side, you're saying, not importing soda. I mean, you're importing, and now you're not importing, you'll see what will happen. We'll move from behind you. So you see, the numbers will fluctuate. My brother, don't let this thing make you afraid. The numbers will fluctuate. Who wins will win. Who will win, but the numbers are not stable. Mike, the way you say now, no, you're thinking 5. Hey, come on. What do you think?
This number thing of an issue is, I don't want to dwell on the number something because, as I stated before, they just had an election, I think 2 years ago in Lofa County, and who expected Joe Barker to lose right in his own backyard. So if Joseph Barker could lose in his own backyard, any reasonable person will tell you that nobody has the number here. We wait until they find, you know, and I want to add this. This election should be very crucial for our people. That country, for example, we live in the West here. You know how many hours a CEO put in, or one of the director put in on a daily basis that manage a company? Then talk less about Liberia. Liberia needs somebody who energetic, who can put in 16 working hours in our country to get our country moved. It's like a car where the 4 tires under the car damaged, the body is damaged, the engine is damaged. So where you going to start from with that car? You need a strong mechanic to work on that car 24/7 to get that car at least off the ground. So there's something of a number, Joe Barker. I mean, Liberian, the idea said we talking about Joe Barker said it mean I win like the country. Yeah, honestly speaking. Because let us go to his track record. Which private entity Joe Barker created in 12 years, he been getting a $1.2 million. We only hear about Joe Barker Foundation. So, Linford, honestly, like one of the popular talk shows said, the comings of 2017 is not the comings of today. And I think some of you people know the talk shows I'm talking about. I'm like, okay, it's like Bogabona in the guy brain to net a fly in the brain. Yeah. So for him to be putting the thing out, I think he trying to maybe stir us some trouble in the UP camp, but fire already in the UP camp. And Yombly too, if she know what is good for her, she still has the golden egg, only a drop on the ground, and the yolk didn't come from in the egg, but she still have the golden egg. That I can assure.
Yeah, Sarah. Play your normal game. Let's hear.
So they look. We're in a very complex era right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one thing is certain: the numbers that Mr. Cummings was able to garner in 2017 will significantly increase because they've been working hard, they've been building institutions, they've been attracting people. But that story can be applied to any of the other major candidates. The first mistake we make is to outrightly write off George Weah. Let me tell you, the problem we have in Liberia starts first with the Liberian people. The Liberian people do not ask of their leaders any guarantee that they will provide public good. The first thing that we all were fully aware of was that George Weah did not have the right capability to run the country. But year after year, people voted for him in significant numbers. Even very wise people were saying, oh, that the man, time now. Let's give him that chance. What is that to tell you that those same people will not say, oh, 6 years were not enough? At least the man put some pavement on the rehab area and he gained chance. Let's gain 6 years more. You really think that the people, they've just wised up that everything had changed. I would say, let's just get rid of this guy. No. That is why the whole concept of uniting the opposition around one candidate based on the numbers from 2017 made sense. The way it has now worked, even when people talking about the election in October 2023, you will bear with me that they say, oh, uh, okay, if one of the opposition goes second round, let the other people make commitment that they will support you. Inherent in that oath that you're asking people to take, inherent in that oath is that one of the two people who will go second round will be George Weah. Do you disagree? So we still have that yoke hanging over us yet. How are we making a case to the Liberian people that our station right now, as bad as it is because of George Weah, so that we can hope that even if Cummins, Boakai, George Weah all go into the race, by the time we get to September, we'll be consciously saying, oh, look, the runoff will be between Boakai and Cummins. It doesn't seem we are there yet. That's why uniting more oppositions, including Liberty and the ANC coming together, makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
I
So
cannot
let me
disagree
ask
with
you
you,
this
Paul.
question, Sarah.
Sir?
Let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Eh, 3 million people, let's say in an election, say most of Rado County, 50, 60,000 people didn't vote. And just carry that across the 14 counties. If 3 million people did not vote, and people decide this time, say, okay, because the voter registration that is coming out, it seems to mean that a lot of people have registered. When everyone decides to say, well, we're going to vote and vote consciently of what they want to do you think there will be a runoff or it's a possibility someone can get 50 plus one? I would call it landslide. Is it possible?
Paul, how
Yeah.
is 2017 different from 2023?
Well, I would say you
How
have,
is 2017 different from 2023?
okay, so we had a lot of people in a race. You had a bronze king who, may his soul rest in peace, no longer around. You had 21 parties. This time around, it be less than that. So there will be a difference in it in terms of number.
Uh, I would say 2017 is different based on the current state of the country economy, the hardship people are faced. It
That's another
wasn't like that
factor. Yeah.
2017. So that's one of the things that are going to play on the people's mind. Should we continue this? I mean, this madness for the next 6 years, and nobody know how worse it could get because there is no even say kerosene in the lantern before you say you strike a matches to light the lantern. So people not going to even a lot of citizens. The first thing citizens used to say is, "Oh, Comey is a good man, but he go join the bad people." Now, is it possible those same citizens I say, "Okay, now he's no longer part of these bad people he joined"? Is it possible that they come and vote Cummings instead? Because many citizens will tell you that we prefer to see Mr. Cummings in power than to see the UP come back to power. So there's a possibility as well.
Okay. Let me tell Saros my view on what
Yeah.
have what why how or how different or what makes 2017 different from 2023. One, 5 years has gone, and we're moving to 6 years. That's the first thing. And then in a 6 years time, what has happened to the economy? It has broken down. Literally, civil servants are not being paid. They are human beings. They are voters. They are the one going to vote. And you talk about silent majority. The silent majority is going to make a decision because the hardship in the country affects the outspoken majority, I mean minority, and the silent majority. The hardship does not know government officials, government workers, civil servants that are not taking pay. They will not say, you pa, you're working for government, so you'll be enjoying or you'll not be hungry. Your children will go to school automatically. Everybody is catching it. Even the government officials they said are catching it. The one is stealing for. So all these things are playing. And then the people look at our own life and say, wait, listen. And we need to tell this to the voters. Look at your life. 5 years after, how you look. Have you changed? Are you from mat to mattress? Why have you been eating? The people you voted for look at that condition and look at your condition. So a lot have changed. The economy is damaged. 5 years have gone. The people have not gotten anything new added to themselves. And then the government of the day does not tend to be showing any interest. And this government, remember, Sarah, was not voted on any tangible. They were voted on popularity. So if you lose your popularity gradually, what happens to you? You are unpopular. And then people will sway away from you. So those are some of the things that have happened within 5 years. That's why make the 2 years or the span between the 2 years
You saw
very
you saw the
significant.
you saw the you saw the you saw the basket of money that Buffer Chimo carried to the village.
Yeah, I saw it. And I want to also let you know that you don't expect poverty to carry a huge amount of money, even to me, as I support commies. Then poverty bring whole bag of grip of money to me and tell me, take it and vote for me. I say, no, carry it back. I'll take it. When I go in the ballot bag or in the ballot booth, you'll not be there. So the people will eat the money. This is the message we've been telling the people. That's your money. Poverty does not have money machine to make money. There's a country's money. It bring everything here. You're taking, you're trying to go bring more. Take it and carry home and vote against them. They want they may not credit in you're not country and say you can't pay me back. Either when you go and go
Therefore,
vote against it.
I really love your passion.
Uh,
I really love your passion and the argument that you make. But let's look at the evidence of how people vote in our country.
the people
People
will not
on
be doing
Charles
like
Taylor
that.
time, you are working with Charles Taylor. You are holding your journalist carrying microphone around, right?
Yeah.
Charles Taylor time, people have all kinds of complaints. But when they say Charles Taylor convoy coming, you know how much people can count the road you to see? The people don't make the people. I mean, I'm sorry to make this statement, but I'm a pragmatist. The people, Liberian people, do not make voting decision based on the logic that you are putting forward. Yes, there may be people who will sway away from we are because they feel disappointed. But even now, when you're talking to them, it will be hard for them to condemn we are. They'll say, "Oh, that the people there who are running." Yeah. So by the time we get close to election, these guys have the public resources at their disposal. We already see now they have started rolling it out. On a massive basis, they will start doing small election projects, dividing money, dividing rights. If we're having a three-way vote between a strong Cummins, a strong Buakai, a strong Weir, I mean, it's hard to know now which side that cooler will break.
Yes, you you are right. Just before the other guys come in. But again, my point here is we are not I'm not writing off we are completely, but to even believe that we are is strong enough with all of what has happened. Let me tell you, we may be honor rating our people and say, oh, you came on mind, you came on power. But the people are learning every day. And number one, those were different eras. That time you're talking about Taylor, it was only radio, local radio that were propaganding the message because we were there. We were giving the message, okay, about Taylor and about the other side. We knew what we were doing and people were buying into it. But now you have open media, the Facebook, social media is every aspect. You can go on Facebook, you can go YouTube, you can go anywhere and see records. So these people are learning. They are not the same people of 2000, and what do you know, 1997 Taylor campaign, okay, and 2000, I don't know when were the last the other campaign. No, people are learning every day, okay. People eyes are opening, they're getting to know. They are here as you and I are talking. We get a group of people listening to us, and they're hearing some of the messages that we're getting. This message is simple. Liberian people, that money that Buffer Chamber and the rest of the guys will bring, that your money, take and eat it. How many people are listening to those kind of messages long ago? No. Okay. So people will be learning gradually. We don't expect it to be overnight, but people will be learning. So if I call my people and say, no, listen, that money they will bring to you, you'll eat it. In the village, I say, you'll eat that money. They will ask me why. I say, you'll eat it because of your money. They keeping it and can't fool you, you'll eat it, you'll not vote for them. When you go vote the person you want. Now those same people because they'll fool you and get people bad to it. So you see, we can't just give up on our people. And I will tell you, I'm not writing we are all, but I will tell you that with a strong coming in the league, in the race, and with a strong worker, we ourselves will struggle. And that's why they will be ditching on the money in the first place. You listen to we are 2017. I didn't do anything for them. They voted for me. So this time, that's why he's struggling and fighting hard to do something because he knows you're not getting on a silver platter. I don't know how the other guys feel and I think.
Well, I usually say Liberia is not a normal country. In a normal country where people going through hardship, the thing is just simple.
Yeah, they will not be talking
No,
about we are
normal
fine.
country, nobody will be talking about president. We are going second round in
Correct.
normal country because people will vote based on his performance. Only in Liberia you hear you go second round because the way the people think,
Correct.
the way the people behave. And this thing, Lord, live for you be amazed. Where Sarah just said, don't overlook it. People in a rural area, some of them don't have access to radio. And the name they know, that name have influence. Let me give you an example on Siri Allen, on his farm. He gave us 65 workers on our farm. When the children sick, they run to him. So when he tell them, say, you do this, they all do it. So you have those people that in there, but normal country, people will make up their own mind what to do. They will not be under the influence of other people.
Our people are not being told what to do. They are not being told. That's the thing.
All right. That's what I'm saying. In a normal country, but Liberia, for some reason, we got a uphill battle to fight. It's not a small battle, honestly.
I
Now,
agree.
locally, the things the citizens have done
We
lately.
are low. We are low information. We are low information population. We got to realize that.
Yes,
So then what do we
it's
do?
serious.
Just sit down and say, okay, the people. No, you see, for me, I don't let them make our people lazy. And our people were not created by God
That
to.
so we got to figure out. We got to figure out what works. We
Exactly.
got to figure out what works. Link for the traditional way of communicating with our people. Traditional way of communicating with our people have not worked for us. Everybody know they put the light here, they put the darkness here. The people still gravitate towards the darkness. What do you think will make that change in 5, 6 years? We need to find something else. And especially now, what we've done, we have created two strong candidates. So all the votes were so put together, feeding up Senator Balu's campaign, it has failed. So we need to make an extra effort to make sure that George Weah didn't get any serious vote at all. My question is,
Mm.
how are we gonna do that? How are we doing that? We got some time. How are we gonna do that?
Well, we need a campaign. You see, just to say, we need a campaign, right? Okay, let's say for me, this is why I'm saying Mark and Paul will come back in. But the point I'm making here is we don't need to make our people lazy and make them to believe that, oh yeah, the people don't know how to vote. No, you the voter, the message is to you. You know how to vote. Says yes, you been hungry, you trusted the guy, you said the guy get a country in your heart. Now the man had lacked a court or a country, it can't even come outside, you're suffering. Is that the same man you're going to go vote for simply because he profiled Liberian dollar to you this straight? No. You see, because the message had not been reaching. So if the United Party will preach out, her message and campaign vigorously, and and CPP does the same, they will reduce the power of we are tremendously. Trust me, I'm telling you. You see, because
So Linford,
uh,
you seen it so sweet. I said, La Bread, not a normal country. I
Live
keep
we
for
are
that
saying
normal
it.
message.
people.
Live for
We
that
just need
message.
to
That the
pass on the
same
message
message.
forward.
The
But
same
listen
message.
now,
The same message we've been giving over and over and over and over.
Are we going to give up?
you have to find
The
me some
last
cheap
time we
food.
hosted a demonstration called the how do you call it demonstration that Louis Brown led
We are
Retire
tired.
suffering.
retire suffering. Clear message. Look, the country they put on meetings and get half of us who get in the street to show that we're not happy about it. Look at how many people responded to it. Right after that, George Weah then went to have some kind of program. Look at how many people responded to it. So you 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 will be misleading yourself to look at the evidence and then decide something otherwise. We have to find a different way to appeal to our people.
And what do you suspect? I'm the suggest. Why you think we can do?
Well, maybe we need to get some bucket of money too and go figure out how we can start giving money to the chiefs and all the people here and there, so they can know that if you for you to know how the Christmas will be, you gotta know what happened on the eve.
Yeah, but have you ever heard this statement from some people that Mr. Cummings or the ANC is the new ATM in time will eat money and will not vote for him? So why you think that we'll compete with the government giving money to people, and we know what they have been, it's the same people you're talking about, and they have been saying that we eat money and will not vote for him. So why can't we preach against the people who are giving the money instead of competing with them with money? We tell them, say, look, that money they bring
Who
it to
Mr.
you.
Cummings, who Mr. Cummings man giving money to in the basket like Buffer Chimo?
Oh no, a lot of people, even if he does good without giving money, people will say, you know, I observe something. I don't know. I don't want to monopolize the talk, but I observe something that,
Let me tell you
especially,
something about Mr. Cummings that will blow your mind. When Mr. Cummings gave people money, or Mr. Cummings gave assistance to people, he doesn't want anybody to know about it.
fair enough.
So, Mark, chime in here because
Fair
this is
enough.
yeah.
So you think that convincing? That talking will make a people vote for you?
Okay, somebody, Chadela Chirupe Brown or Brown Chirupe is supporting you here. She said,
You already know the people.
she almost wanted to, but you see, my fear here is, she said she almost wanted to say what he's saying, that we should do what others doing. But my fear here is the people, they have that belief. Now they will give you all kinds of example. Say, oh, your acts, what is this on the former governor who ran to be president, then another pastor who ran to be president, they all didn't win because they were spending money and people ate that money, they didn't vote for them. And then they said,
Mills Jones.
yeah, yeah, Mill Jones. And he said he gave a whole lot of loan to people. They ate money, they didn't vote for him. And Mr. Cummings, according to them, he spent a lot of money in 2017. They didn't win. So they said we're going there to eat our own. When Mr. Cummings is going anywhere in Monserrado County, you see that group turn up. And if you look at the live chat, some people say, yeah, we'll come in, guess what? We'll come in, guess what? That money we eat it, we'll vote for so person. You see it? So me, I would rather campaign against the people who are giving the money to now. Look, not all the people stupid. So if I were working in Liberia for the government, 4 months, 5 months, I take pay. Then poverty not
Linford, let
bring.
me Linford, let me give you some clear illustrations, right? Because
Okay,
I understand that place like hell. Let me give you one illustration that will rest for you to talk. Mr. Cummings spends a lot of money on sustainable projects, helping with education, uh, paying people fees, sending people on scholarship, uh, generators to be there at our computer laboratories at the universities, helping to give small loans to women businesses. Those are all good things. But those things can have more impact if Mr. Cummings was president and governing, then you can design public policy around those sustainability models. But we're dealing with two things here. We're dealing with winning elections first, and then governance. To win election in Liberia, the model is different. If you watch when Mr. Cummings went to New Crew Town, I was sitting here and watching the video with my wife, and I was just calling her attention to the manifest behavior of the Liberian people if you want their support. Mrs. Cummings made a nice statement there. Mr. Cummings made another statement. Then Mobile Yoruba took the microphone and said, okay, we want to go tour to see how you're living. And the people created a barricade. They almost were preventing him from leaving. Then another guy came and said, oh, I'm a soldier. I got 30 men behind me. And I'm lying. We can smoke weed and all that kind of thing. But the way you kind of said, we ain't even getting no eating. And they kept that pressure on until I heard Mr. Cummings saying, oh, well, I'm going to leave small thing here with y'all. And he was struggling with that because he's not used to that. Because his whole idea is to make a beautiful turbo case, how we can total involvement for higher height. Let me tell you what could have made a difference over there. And you know Linford because you saw Charles Taylor. As Mr. Cummings went into New Crew Town there, about 30 minutes into the program, our rice truck have come behind him with his picture on the truck and say, guess what? We're going to see you. We're going to understand what's happening, but we're not leaving here today. We brought like 500 back already. You're divided among yourself. The whole issue will be different. I can tell you. That's how the Liberian people respond. Now, if you interpret and say, oh, they're giving people rights to vote, then you're being unrealistic. They're not because people frame it. People, we who dress in Kosu and Tao will say, oh, you got to go convince the people to think into the future. They say, oh, when you go care rest, they say, oh, you give people rest to vote. You got to be kidding me. The people have present problems. They've listened to the political leaders time after time, and when the people win power, the people are not looking forward to when you win because every time the people don't deliver on it. So the election time, when you come here around, they won't feel you. When you come without plenty talk and they don't feel you when you leave, you don't win their admiration. They look at you like the other man, I just want food or you talk plenty. When you start moving the largesse among those people, we had a demonstration, tire suffering demonstration. Right after the demonstration, people start hearing that $70,000 got missing.
Even before
you know how much rights $70,000 could have distributed among the people to that demonstration? Or just say everybody who can will give $5 to pay away. You know how many people will show up? That's how you run campaign in Liberia, whether you like it or not. Because what they're saying, they say, oh, but man, because Tottenham literally put that in the people's head. That's what their leader is supposed to do for them. So once you win the elections, then you can start building the foundations going forward. That's how I see it, really. That's why it's difficult for us to resonate. It's difficult for us to resonate from place to place because they still see all that. They may not understand the deal. You know how we ate today? I'm going to leave our place for 4-5 hours. Come be standing here and you can talk. Okay, well, I'll be president. Everything will be all right. Until then you go and say, okay. Like, what we eat? That is the reality, Linford.
I will not deny that because I saw it and I know it.
Let Mark chime
That's the reality.
in here because this I just enjoying the guy lecture about Liberia, normal country. Mark, what do you think? That's my philosophy. This country is not normal.
Yeah, the country has not been normal. I mean, it's not just the we administration, right? It's like the same thing we struggle with in the country with the drugs business. So I always give this analogy, for example, your child born in the West, that child start going to school at the age of 6. 12 years time, that child got a high school education. Now, you people were in power in Liberia for 12 years. So the child start going to school in Liberia sometimes at the age of 4 or sometimes 5, just like the children in the West. So you got 4 years for a bachelor degree. So you got 3 sets of generation, 3 different generations. Their bachelor degree got thrown in the gutter. You got master, 3 years. That's another 4 different group. Their life were in the water. So the issue Liberia faced with today, I agree with Paul and I agree with my brother
Sorry.
Cyrus, that it's not just today too. We got to look 12 years backward, 12 years back. This issue we're dealing with today as to how our people think. You see this country called Nigeria? People say Nigeria, 419, the generalized Nigeria. But it started right after the Nigerian Civil War. The government did not do enough. People started engaging into this scam, 419 behavior. Like in Liberia today, what people can say, oh, the government are being government, the government are being government. But the being something started right across the border when we went into exile. Then our boys start coming back home with money. Now, the being mentality is in the government. So the same thing in the people that when you go somewhere, you can say, oh, my man, I long talking, you come with, my man, where you got on the ground for us? So it's not even about the issue. It's about chopping.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to take a long time before we can do away with that mentality, except when you got a responsible government that's going to rehabilitate the whole entire country. Yeah, but actually, it's not an easy fight. Mr. Comey is not used to giving somebody bribing people. No, he's not used to it. By the end of the day, you have to start playing according to the game. That's how it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Okay. Where do I go? I'm surrounded by three.
And you got to realize that two things. You have to win. You have to win first before you govern. If you
Yeah.
want to change the country, you have to win the elections first.
I totally agree.
Well, I'm surrounded by three brilliant guys who have trapped me. I thought I could get away with this
And,
one,
and,
but
and
I
Linford,
got trapped.
let
Yeah.
me add salt and pepper to West Saros
But
and
man, you
Mark
not trapped
just
me.
said.
You certify it? Okay, go ahead.
No, the salt and pepper. If you don't have the money in Liberia, there's something they call political language.
Uh-huh.
You must have the political language,
How you speak
and
that one?
oh, this is where when you going hard on your friend, you don't be cool with them. And you know, Louis Brown get up well saying say, "Well,
Your
he
mama be
just near
sweet.
the market door. That political language is speaking, then they say, yeah, Bobby is strong. So if you don't want to use money, go for the political
No,
language.
but you got to draw smart in first. When you draw smart
Well,
in, then they will say the bravi strong.
but so,
Well, anyway, I think I understand you. I understand you, God. I was just looking at it the other way, but um, our time is fast spent, so um, we'll be coming back here again. This is not all. Actually, tonight we're discussing the unity of the Liberty Party. If they unite, will they give their unity? Will it give the CPP extra boost in terms of number and whatever? And this is where the number game came in, and Sarah did a very beautiful graph that we saw, and it analyzed the entire thing. But we're gonna be back here on Friday, and we'll come with more topic. And again tonight, we want to apologize to our many viewers and our expected listeners in Liberia, who are supposed to be tuning into Red FM, Power FM, Red Power FM. That is from Brewersville, and by way of information, I understand that that station reaches about like 9 to 11 counties in Liberia. So it was going to be a wide coverage, but because of technical problems, we could not do what we were supposed to do tonight. And the technical problem was not actually from us; it was from them, because this is Liberia. This is the country that we're talking about. Where things will not just work as it should be, and this is why the need arises for us to elect people who make sound decisions that your life will change. And do not look at the dollars today, the quick dollars. They say a slow nickel is better than what? A quick dime, man, or something. Yeah,
fast down.
yeah, you see it? So, yeah, you will get something to eat today, but what you will eat tomorrow again? You see, they say dry door sweet, what you'll be eating, but the thing here is, if you dry the door, at least you get something, but you eat a fresh door, you can't eat all today. tomorrow night, and one day millionaire you are. You eat it today, often, then tomorrow you start gapping. And you know, the stomach can't remember. It will not say, oh, yesterday we ate enough, so we already know. So don't mind the today, what you call it, I know what to say, sir. And then just gamble your life, your children's life, your future. Also, gentlemen, quickly, we'll do 1 or 2 minutes each to wrap up. I don't know, Mike, what you want to leave the show with? What message do you have for our photos and just the public?
We can't give up. We just have to, continue educating our people that, this election
Oh
is
man.
all about them, and their future is on the line. Their children's future is on the line. If they're going to sacrifice another 6 more years, yeah, of their children's future. Now you look at some of the schools, teachers not taking salary, no equipment for teachers, teacher training program. The children are just getting backward and backward. Drugs everywhere throughout the country. So we just have to keep on the struggle. And I say thank you to you guys for the show.
Cyrus?
Well, thank you guys again for having me. I'm always happy to be here to share my views. But I wanted to leave us with this. I've always said it. The country we have the country is bruised. The country has been hurt. The period of the war. You remember there was a UN special representative during the war called Trevor Gordon Summers.
Yeah, he went to
During the
her bell.
interim period when we're
I
doing
saw him.
interim 8-man council and whatnot. And he, in admonishing our leaders to make a decision, he said, look, he said, you guys, by the time you realize that you have set your country back by 100 years. And we probably didn't realize it, but he may have been right, or maybe he was calling just few number of years than what we have really gone back to. Imagine today in the 21st century, less than 2% of our people got access to electricity from public utility. Most people have to put up their own tank over their house before they get pipe boom water from the shower. 99% of the people take bath in buckets. There's still people who are doing public defecation because they don't have toilets. A large percentage of our youth have not even seen an airplane before. They've not even seen a commode. Yet we've adopted a democratic system, a system that relies on making a case for the choice of your leader on the basis of the premise of good governance. So we get out there and we make ourselves believe that these 2.18 million people who have been registered to vote, all we need to do is to make a case to them that we are better off than the people who leading you now. We'll take over, we'll make sure that this worked for you, that worked for you. The people have heard all those messages before, nothing has changed. So that's not what inspired them to vote, if they will even vote. Because think about it. Do you know that they've had elections where some candidates go in a neighborhood where they are not very popular and they buy the voters' card from the potential voters? They give them money and say, give me the card so you don't have to vote. Because they know if people vote, they'll probably vote against them. So they just defranchise those people. But the people gave them the card voluntarily. They take the money. Only somebody who have lost his senses will believe that that person who actually selling his voter's card for $10, $20 really understand the power of his vote in the democratic system. So if we are trying to change our country and in the canvas for vote, we are acting as though we are giving a lecture to an intellectual voters pool. The joke is not on the people, the joke is on us. There are two things we're dealing with here. getting elected because we created a democratic, we adopted a democratic system, so that's how we want our leaders to be elected. Getting elected and then governing. The method we've been using over and over, we who say we know both to get elected, has not gotten us elected. Go in your legislature and take a look around and see the people who are there. They are not your smartest people. In most of the elections that they voted, the smartest people lost. So we need to find out, what do we need to do to win first? One of the things we need to do to win is to inspire our people. How do we inspire them? I'll take you to that small message. If Christmas will be already, you will know from the eve. If we are going in the communities to be able to talk to people to vote for us, let's carry some incentives. If it means we carry some rice to distribute to them, if it means we build toilets, if it means we do something that make them to say, look, okay, that's the person I want to vote because they're giving me something. Let them look at it as negative, because that is where our people are. They have heard all these promises, but once you come there with some tangible, you can resonate with them more and more. That's why we're not getting the numbers we need to get. That's why somebody like we are gets the number, because you can call a football game and play and make noise. They already know, oh, man, everybody bored and drinking beer, and he gets the vote. So we're going to October again. We need to read through the way we canvass so that we can get the numbers. Once we get a government headed by one of the people who has the idea, then we can reform the country. If you look around us, some people, that's how they reform their countries. Paul Kagame in Rwanda, he had to get elected first. In the case of Gerald Rollins, he took it by force. But he had to get into power to change the country. Without that, the country would not have changed. So we need to figure out what will get us to power. And it's clear to us that why is Fala, how Fala became representative? He spent money on the people. How Abu Kamara in Logan Town became representative, even after it was clear that he stole money. He left the Ministry of Transport. They appointed him as Deputy Minister of Post. He was taking the two salaries right around the election. He was discovered people who made noise about it. The people still voted him in. But he was going there divine rights, giving some people this and that. We probably need to do that. Let's not look at it as a bad thing. After we do that, then we can reform the country and empower people, because I will leave you with this. If you study management, you will study the Abraham Maslow theory, the hierarchy of needs. People who ain't get nothing at all, their basic needs are not satisfied. You're expecting them to be intellectual and you're really just unrealistic. The first needs that they need satisfied is their pro-potent needs. The need for food, clothing, and shelter. If you can take care of that, then they will move to another level. They will keep moving to another level. When I went to study in Sweden, I lost my wallet just on payday, because every Friday our money will go in our account, and I would take all I put it in my wallet so I can send money to family. I went to board that night. I got home to the hotel. As soon as the morning I woke up, the first thing I can't find my wallet, I freak out. I went down to the lobby in the hotel. I asked the lady there, she said, oh, somebody brought your wallet. Just look in the drawer, and she was pointing to the place like, and she's not coming to stand to check my money to make sure you're correct. She was telling me, just go look over there for your wallet. Before I went there to look for my wallet, I found my wallet and all my money was correct. And it fascinated me. Over time, I was talking to my mentor or professor there. I said, how is that possible? Somebody found my wallet and they turned it in. He said, well, in this country, people don't have a need for money like that.
But you did the same
People
thing
got
when
job,
the
they don't have
ATM
job,
machine.
government will pay them, government will take care of them. So people who ain't
You
get
remember
nothing,
when the ATM machine gave up
you
on
go
you?
and start advocating to them about the future and all that. Where you really just wasting your time. So I just want to leave us with that message. We need to retune our campaign messages. We need to raise money in the diaspora if we want to make Cummings president. When he's going somewhere, we need to escort him with some food, with some largesse, toy for children. We need to do something for the people to say, look, the way the people are acting, when they take over, then I think everything will be even better. I will leave you guys with that.
Okay, but before Paul comes in, let me just remind you. You remember your issue with the ATM soon that morning when the ATM gave up on you? You collected all the money, put it there, we check it. When the man everything was correct. we give it back to them. I said, well, Sarah, look at the money. I said, what we carry? Okay, well, that was fun. Paul, take us home with what you think we should do. We've gotten the recommendation from Saros and
Yeah.
Mark. So take us
Yeah.
home.
You know, I will ask those that can pray to pray for our country, Liberia. We need to get Liberia to a normal country.
Hmm.
And this is the sad thing about if you're on the ground, you feel it that the country is not normal. Somebody is telling them, putting sense in there, the sense that you put in there, they don't see the logic in it. So if you hear people calling radio station, I will vote for this man because it's resolved. How does he know that I will vote for that person? He's speaking generally like everybody following him because that's the thinking of the people. We need to pray for Liberia. And I agree with Cyrus. We have to do something before we govern. That is the key to all of this. That's money and that political language. Combine those two. That is
Yep.
the way forward. You got to combine those two. You can't be
Yep.
soft with the people. You have to give, you have to talk tough because you're in a race to win. You're not in a race to please anyone. You want to win. The tune have to change and the support have to go. When you leave here, the people run behind you that yes, this is what we want. You talk
Yeah, but
stuff
but
and then you leave something.
but brother
This
Paul.
Mark, come on. We can see you.
Yeah. Sorry
You know,
guys.
yeah.
But brother Paul, I don't think. I mean, I listen to you and brother Cyrus, but I don't think it should be that way, my dear brother. It should be instead
We
about
can
the
see you,
issue.
Mark.
Yeah, but you hearing me, right?
Go on.
Yeah. I mean, it should be about the issue, brother Paul. It shouldn't be about, I mean, okay, somebody buy a voter registration card. Is that enough for the next 6 years? Is that why you're going to sell your whole future, your children's future for the next 6 years? Even a person give you $300 just for that voter registration card. Can they cover your expenditure for the next 6 years, my brother? Library need to wake up from their madness.
So that's what I said. We need the country need prayer because it's not a normal country. People with a good message will come. They'll say, "What are you wasting your time for?"
They say
That,
nobody live to be a fat dog, right?
yeah.
But Liberian live to be fat dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I will also look at what we talked on earlier about the Liberty Party. I hope they come together. When the Liberty Party come together and the CPP will become a stronger force to reckon with, and I hope Yumley and the DeLon and all the other groups that are following should see logic for them to bring their party back, which opportunity is now being given to her that were denied from her. So she still have the chance to be that vice president that she wanted to be, that she dreamed about. Maybe that's the direction she needed to go first, but she didn't see it coming. That somebody they took the court take him by say, look, I don't mind you coming as my number two. I think she should take that into consideration and yet and bring their party back. Let have a good contest and the strong shall prevail. So therefore, I also
Yeah,
want to make an announcement on Tuesday. We'll be back on here Tuesday next week on the Rare Power Radio Station. The the technical team, I just spoke to them. They're working on after this program with John again to see what's the problem. So they guarantee that next Tuesday will be on. And we're also back here on Friday the same time. And announcement to our friends in Europe and in the UK, the ANC UK branch will be having their fundraising pack event on the 27th. It is a bank holiday in the UK, so that Monday people will not be working. So that's a long weekend. So they have big stuff going, and they got flyers up. Maybe they also to display the flyer. So on Friday, we'll be doing that. And I also learned that people in your own town, Norway, also doing similar thing. And then Sweden as well. That will be in June, the 9th, and then the 30th of June in Sweden. So those are the announcements I wanted to make. And this program also is on the bottom line online radio, which is 24/7. So you can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. We're all over the place. On Tuesday, we'll be back and we'll be on the Rare Power radio station that cover 11 counties. So I just want to say that, and I'll also say thanks to our viewers. For those of you who first time follow us, kindly click on the like button. So when it comes on, you automatically notify. So on that note, I'll say good night and Linford, before you close, you must permit me to play a nice bass of music to tell the Liberty Party people, let them come together. It's about time. Mama Liberia first. They should put their personal ego aside.
Yeah, I hope you are playing my brother Sonic Adebo.
Yeah, Senator Deborah, but this one here is actually Yomli he's speaking to directly.
Oh yeah, I love that song.
So if you guys don't mind, I'm
Yeah.
going to roll with this.
Roll on, then I'll close. And you know, I'm forgetting my pastor, but I'll pick a few words from there. You know, bagli, bagba, you ever me, bagli, bagba, you ever her. Now while you're talking, nobody who is doing so thing you ever her. I think I've taken that part. And so, you know, like you said, Paul, the unity of the Liberty Party is very crucial for two reasons. One and foremost, for them to be united as a party, that they can stand and have voice in the political engagements in Liberia as a party, irrespective of which side they lay on. But for them to come together as a party, like all the other parties are, is very important. Then the second reason is their unity will help to strengthen the position of the CPP. Not only in this election, who knows whether the CPP will last until after this election, until the next election, we don't know. But they need primarily to unite to make one party. You cannot have a divided party. The horse divided against itself cannot stand. Divided will fall, united will stand. Things fall apart, the center cannot hold. So I'm speaking to the Liberty Party people. Okay. And then we also touched on so many things, but one of the things that I'm taking home is the political arrangements in Liberia, how the people vote, how people see, how the voters see their leaders, what encourage them, what draw them as a bait. And Sarah made a very important point when he even cited the example with Charles Taylor. I worked with Charles Taylor for all those years, and I know that everywhere Taylor went, everywhere he went prior to the election, even during the wartime, his soldiers will buy anytime, they will do all the bad thing there when they go. But when Taylor gets there, the people will come to see him. They will come because they felt that he was the only one who was thinking about who could solve that problem. And every time he left anywhere, he will always do something for the people. My people are big, yo. They think, yeah, we didn't come to do this, but people doing bad things. He will talk to the people, and he will leave things there. Everywhere that man went, he was leaving money and food, and all the way to a fighting war in Liberia. Greater Liberia, people were not just too hungry. Okay, they were hungry, but not just to the scale. Like Monrovia, where people cut down all the coconut trees, they ate pancana, they did everything. No, it wasn't like that in Greater Liberia. Some places it was for some time. Okay, but they will always try to reach out to the people, and those are the tiny things that the people can remember. So when you guys surrounded me and said, "Well, you got to speak the language," I begin to reflect, and then I saw sense in that. That in some comments, people are already saying that they don't know him. So saying the people got special language that they can understand during the political time, I think you got to learn that. You don't have to buy vote. You don't have to say, "I'll give you your money or vote for me." But for humanitarian sake, these people you go to speak to, Mr. Comey, they are people who are the American ambassador described them, they are destitute. Those are people who feel rejected. Those are people who have no hope. So sometimes you got to see that and add that to your agenda. And again, the ANC supporters, Mr. Comey's supporters, and the CPP supporters, those of you who can do something for some group of people that you got to chip in and do something, because this is the way the people know, and this is what they are used to. So again, we may have all of the beautiful ideas, but if this is what the people want, who are we to say no? After all, they are the ones that we want to vote for us. So we just got to play to that tune, okay? So not to waste your time again, our viewers want to say thank you. Agnes Barclay Young, I think this is the first time I see you on the show, and Jerome, Jarum, Gawe, and we had another strange person here whose name I'm seeing for the first time. Okay, Angeline Johnson, all the way from Minnesota. Thanks for joining us. And we had this Nangbe Peterson who was talking all sorts of things. But again, you can't change his mind. You can't tell him what to say. You always say what he believes in. And my sister, Nancy Ruth Anderson, thanks a lot. To those of you whose names I did not see to recognize, you can make this place your home. This is the bottom line. We discuss the issue and give our opinions. Thanks for today, Paul. Take us home. And if I were you, Paul, if you agree with me, I think you will play that same music again, at least halfway, just to take us home, because I love it.
Yeah, and we're calling for opposition unity.
Mm-hmm.
This is the CPP unity we're calling for. So, Yumli, wherever you are, you found somebody who want to marry you, take the offer and take that ring. Run with it. Maybe this is the blessing that you're looking for.
And the people who dash you, they are going all around and acting like they love you now.
Yeah. So take that ring.
But let me tell you, for quickly, before you drop that music. Normally, the good thing that she's a woman or natural woman, real woman, and she knows what men and women can do. You see, one guy will come and like you when you not agree to him, then he will start treating you. Then that guy drop you. Then you go see somebody, and the other new guy coming to take you that the same man who drop you, then you want he loves you so much, he start playing jealousy. So this not strange to normally. It's good that she's a woman and she's in the middle, so she will make that right decision. Somebody who fool you, the guy they love you at the end of the day when somebody else finds you. So blow out music.
Okay.
Hey, Waraja, get on your beat up, Roger. Order, Waraja. Waraja, get on your beat up, Roger. Hey! Rokarani Jukamoa. Jukamoa. Rokarani Jukamoa. 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 Get on your beat up, Roger. Order, Roger. Rokarani Jukamoa. Oh, yeah, your baba copy, watch it, you'll be up here. Morawa, Casio Musio, walk your fianza. Get on your big TV, what can I be? Get the king of Baba, yeah, Gaki can get you'll be your book. You look at the green, you got that shower. You got your set your chap or bottom. Nobody see Muso get the chap or chap. Me there, get your business. Hey, I'm a pack of kiss or keep your get it in a fight. What you come on you, what you can beg your be a G. Baba, Baba, and you'll be a G. Baba, you'll be back in what you want to say, Ben or G. Baba, hey, Ben or Champion G. Baba, Mark or Rocco, so be a Ben or G. Baba, hey.